Hey, Pastor Joey here, and we're getting ready to start a brand new sermon series at the River Church called James, Real Faith for Real Life. And we're doing some special things during this sermon series, including daily video devotions. And you can find all of those at our webpage, riverchurchlive.com/James. Our first daily video devotion starts right now. A long time ago in Christian history, there was a guy named Francis of Assisi. He was a great pastor and a great teacher. He had lots of students, and he would often go into the countryside to preach the word to those in the surrounding villages. One day he took one of his students out to follow him and to see him preach. And they went from shop to shop out in a village. They went from a baker to different shops, and they cared for people. They talked to people. They saw people in the village, in people's homes. They moved around and talked and loved people. And as the day drew to a close, Francis said, "Well, it's time for us to go home." And his student was very confused because he thought, "I was supposed to hear you preach the word to people." And Francis said very clear to him, "Everything that we've been doing today has been preaching a sermon. As we've loved people, as we've spoke to people, as we've cared to people, we've preached a sermon to these people." And for all of us as Christians, our lives are supposed to be like that. We preach a sermon with our lives. The real question for us is, what does our sermon say? What are we preaching to others? Are we preaching a message that shows a life filled with faith in what God wants to do in people's lives through the power of the gospel? Or are we preaching our own selfishness and our own desires and our own wants and our own needs as we walk through our days? As we start this book of James, I really want to encourage you to take a few minutes today and to ask yourself, what am I preaching to others? What am I preaching as I walk through my day to day? Am I living for God? The book of James is a great book with very practical things to speak to our lives. Today, I want to encourage you. Take a look at things. What are you preaching? Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.